Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 ways you can reverse and or prevent your hair from going gray. We're going to dive into this topic here today. Before we do, please smash that like button. Make sure you put your comments down below. We'll be responding. And make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications of videos coming your way like this. All right, so gray hair. What's happening with gray hair? So with gray hair, typically my little grays are right here. Right? I'm on top of it. I'm 40 years old now, so this is just kind of the way Mother Nature is. Essentially what happens as you age, you have hydrogen peroxide that build up in the follicle. Now, I am starving off my gray hair as much as I can. I think it was my 78-year-old grandfather. He died of, I think 78, 80, right in that area on my grandmother's side, my grandmother's dad, and he had at almost 80 years old, had no gray hair on his head, a little bit right there. So I'm trying to repeat those genetics, but everyone in my family is grayed out. So there's ways that we can naturally starve out that hydrogen peroxide around the follicle. So there's different things that we can do. The enzyme, the catalase enzyme, that pseudocatalysis enzyme that helps neutralize hydrogen peroxide is going to be a glutathione-based enzyme. So getting glutathione up naturally are good, simple strategies to help with that. Give a little comb here. All right, so in regards to that, NAC is a really simple strategy because NAC is that major precursor for glutathione. That's going to bump up that catalase activity because that glutathione is going to have that catalase. That'll help neutralize the hydrogen peroxide. That's number one out of the gates. There's some, so we talk about here, we'll kind of go over some of the big strategies out of the way here. So first off, I'm going to give you a functional medicine take and then what you can do supplementally. So big picture, gut's going to be really important because all the nutrients you need for your health are going to come in through your gut. So if you have poor hydrochloric acid, poor enzymes, remember, this is all keratin, right? This is keratin. So if we're not breaking down protein, absorbing it, assimilating it, utilizing it, that's going to be a big issue. So gut health is going to be a big deal. Again, bacterial imbalances, probiotics, prebiotics, these are going to be big things because everything comes through the gut. So protein, all your micronutrients. So this is going to be the first bottleneck here. Hormones. Hormones is the next thing. If our cortisol is overly out of balance, that's going to be catabolic. Cortisol, being catabolic, will start to go after tissues, proteins. Guess what? This is protein, right? So keratin, lean tissues, muscle. So we want to be on top of the hormones. Cortisol is a big one. Low thyroid hormone. Thyroid helps with follicle growth and follicle stimulation. Overall follicle health. If we don't have good healthy follicle, gray hair is a natural byproduct of natural aging and potential poor hormonal output and genetic expression in the hair follicle. So low thyroid could be a big deal as well. Detoxification, that kind of plugs into the NAC because if we have poor detoxification, our glutathione, our N-acetylation, our glutathione conjugation, all of these different pathways are probably going to be impaired. So this is where NAC and our which is the major glutathione precursor. Remember, glutathione is a tripeptide, right? N-acetylcysteine or cysteine, glutamine and glycine. Glutamine is going to be the major protein that you're going to get in muscle meats, animal proteins. Glycine you're going to get from bone broth. So bone broth, really important. That builds up that good backbone for the collagen protein in the hair. Collagen, gelatin, really important. But NAC or cysteine is going to be that major rate-limiting precursor for that glutathione. And glutathione helps make up that catalase enzyme. That catalase enzyme takes hydrogen peroxide and it knocks it down, right? Takes it, pulls away an oxygen molecule. Now it becomes water because hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. You pull away an oxygen, now it's H2O, water, neutral, benign. Oxidative stress, that's another big one. So oxidation is nothing more than the loss of an electrons, right? So if we lose an electron, that molecule, that cell is unstable. And so antioxidants come in. That means they give up an electron to stabilize that unstable cell. So anything that's an oxidizer is going to have a major impact on things. So getting extra antioxidants in through vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, cod liver oil, really good nutrients, your healthy plants, your fruits, those are going to have a lot of good antioxidants, and barring that we're not getting, too much carbs and creating insulin resistance. That's going to help with the oxidative stress and give off electrons freely and stabilize these cells that are missing electrons. Now, there are pro-oxidizers. Pro-oxidizers are going to be things like smoking, too much alcohol, too much stress. Again, if you're going to look at the hormone imbalances that we talked about previously, right? Cortisol is definitely going to create some oxidative stress because it's very catabolic. It's going to break down cells, potentially could create some free radical damage in and of itself. Now with hormones as well, we could throw insulin in there. So if we have let's say a lot of carbohydrates, that creates, that causes excess insulin. Insulin's very damaging to the cells, creates a lot of microvascular problems, a lot of blood flow problems. We don't have good blood flow. That means we're going to have poor oxygenation, poor nutrition to the cells. Also, we have advanced glycation end products. If we have excess carbohydrates, that means AGEs, right? Advanced glycation end products. That means that protein on that outer cell gets sugar coated, and that protein creates oxidation. And then we have a lot of damage to the cells and to the DNA like that. And so oxidative stress through high insulin, through high cortisol, through alcohol, through too much drinking, and through a lack of antioxidants in the diet. Your fruits, your vegetables, your high quality grass-fed meats, your good fats. Now, enhanced micronutrient uptake. Now, this is cool. So zinc's going to play a big role with hair quality. Copper's going to play a big role with hair color as well. So potentially zinc and copper. If you look at the top high zinc foods and the top high copper foods, there's this natural zinc copper ratio. You'll find that a lot of them balance out. They're about the same. Like a lot of the seafood, a lot of the grass-fed meats, mushrooms, those kind of things, fish, there's going to be a pretty equal copper to zinc ratio in those foods. And so if you eat foods that are pretty nutrient dense regarding zinc, you're going to get some good copper with it. And so good copper, good zinc is going to be important. Usually with selenium is another big thing that can cause gray hair. Now it makes sense because selenium is also a really important cofactor for glutathione. It's not like one of the building blocks like glutamine, glycine, cysteine is, but it is an important cofactor in the liver to make it. Right? Not like a rate limiting one, but it's very much helpful for it. If you look at like the enzymes that make the deiodinase enzyme for the thyroid that cleave off that iodine of T4 and makes it T3, that it activates your thyroid hormone, that enzyme is selenium based, and good liver health is really important for thyroid activation. So that's a really important one. So when we look at enhanced micronutrient uptake, this is where we're going to see zinc. This is where we're going to see iron if you're a female. In guys, it's not as big of a deal because guys don't menstruate. They don't lose their iron, so it becomes less of a problem. With women, it can be a big deal because iron helps carry oxygen. If you don't have good oxygen, guess what? You're not going to be able to carry your nutrients because you need oxygen and you need that to make your red blood cells. So if you have poor oxygen, poor red blood cells, you're not going to be able to carry your nutrients. And then also, your proteins, I would throw selenium in there as well. I throw copper. I would throw zinc as well. So a good multi will get you some of this. Good seafood, good grass-fed meat, good collagen, good fruits and vegetables. Be careful of smoking. Be careful of too much alcohol. Supplementing NAC can also be helpful. When we look at good extra antioxidants, because when we see oxidative stressors, the big thing I say is, well, what antioxidants can we do to stabilize or neutralize the oxidative stress? Well, we can do things like Niagen or nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide, or NMR, which is basically a reducing kind of compound, right? This is going to be like your B vitamin derivative compound that you see that really helps with the Krebs cycle and nutrients. Very powerful antioxidant. We call this Niagen or NADH in a supplement form. I'm pretty sure it's like an NMR form. Nicotinamide riboside chloride form, but this is going to be a very powerful way that you can kind of add these nutrients in. You could also do some kind of a trans resveratrol or a pterostilbene. These are going to be like methylated kind of resveratrol compounds that are going to be very powerful as an antioxidant. So some of these nutrients can be helpful. I take a little bit of trans resveratrol / pterostilbene every day. Take a little bit of NAD as well. I take a little bit of NAC. I take a good multi with extra zinc and selenium in there, 200 to 400 micrograms of selenium, about maybe half a microgram to 1 microgram of copper, maybe 10 to 20 micrograms of zinc. And I try to, eat good foods, right? Grass-fed meat, good high-quality pasture-fed eggs, a good salad at my lunchtime every day. In the morning, 20 to 30 grams of collagen, good fats. Try to keep my carbs in check for my activity level. The more active I am, I'll have a little bit of starch, or my cheat will be maybe some sweet potato french fries, something like that. If not, I try to keep the carbs pretty low. So look at your nutrients, look at your supplement regimen. Dial in your lifestyle, dial in your food, keep your insulin, keep your carbs in check. Look at your hormones, look at cortisol, look at thyroid hormone, right? Make sure there's no autoimmune stuff. Look at your gut health. And then kind of create your stack of supplements, right? NAC will be in the mix, maybe a little bit of zinc, maybe some glutathione by itself, maybe some collagen. Create your top 2, top 3 stack out of the gates. And then also you have your palliative therapies that you can do. Red light, I use a Capillus red light over there. Powerful because it does help. Red light does stimulate mitochondria, does improve blood flow, and is very anti-inflammatory. And oxidative stress can create inflammation and decrease blood flow. So improving blood flow, improving red light, and stimulating the mitochondria can also improve that hair quality as well. And so red light could be another palliative therapy there. You can also potentially throw in microneedling as well, because that's going to help with blood flow, stimulate stem cells, improve growth factors. Again, I kind of try to microneedle right in this area here, and I got a little bit here in the beard. If you look at guys, the first areas that guys, it hits them on their face, is going to be right here. Right, and usually it spreads. And usually the last place, it's kind of weird, is the upper lip. But you always see guys that are older, nothing here, like normal pigment, and then it starts to stimulate there. So microneedling, maybe a little bit of red light, topical stuff, get your internal nutrients. I use a lot of emu oil for my skin, powerful antioxidants. Number one, fatty acid, topical they use in burn victim units across the country. So people don't know this. So it's really important to do that. Make sure if you do emu oil, I'll put links down below, but I use one that's AEA certified, because most emu oil is full of soy and canola. They cut it because it's cheaper that way. So emu oil for the skin, but for the hair, NAC, red light, microneedling, your transverse resveratrol, your NAD. You could throw glutathione and NAC together, and then your micronutrients, your zinc, your selenium. And again, get it from food first, supplement second, and then dial in all your other good lifestyle factors that I highlighted today. Guys, if you want to dive in deeper on the functional medicine side, look at your hormones, look at your gut, look at other ways to kind of naturally enhance your anti-aging capacity, click down below. There'll be a link where you can reach out and schedule. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Take care. Bye.